Let me start, and I think Steve can get a heck of a lot more detailed than I can. But I want to not correct, but just explain a little bit. The hardware, the thrusters worked great, and by refiring them, we proved that. So it's the conditions that we've put in the software that is somehow telling the thruster to be deselected. It doesn't fail, it is being deselected. And that's not a software problem. That's the data we're putting into the software that needs to be understood a little bit more so that we can not deselect those thrusters and keep them operating. Steve?
Yeah, I think Mark said it really well. What we're really looking at is the way you determine a thruster is healthy on the spacecraft is you really have some temperature measurements that you can tell if there's any leakage of the propellants. We don't see any of that. When you fire the thruster, you know that there's a chamber pressure measurement. It measures the pressure in the chamber, and you're looking for a certain pressure in that chamber. And what we see sometimes on some pulses, that pressure doesn't get quite to the limit that it needs to. And if you get 5 consecutive strikes where you're not at that right pressure, the software says, hey, that's not a good thruster. Even if let's say, I think one of the thrusters today, it needs to get to 110 pounds per square inch, and it was like at 108. So clearly that thruster is a good thruster, but just not quite there for some reason. So the software deselects it, we come back, and we re-hot fire that thruster, and maybe give it a little bit of time to cool off in between the pulses. And when we hot fire that thruster, we basically send a pulse to that thruster. We look at the chamber pressure in the thruster, and then we also look at how much thrust comes out of that thruster by how much it changed the vehicle attitude and rates and orientation. And when we do that, we figure the thruster is healthy now. We can, once we look at the data and review it, we can tell the software essentially you can fire that thruster again.